we've taught our children, we were taught as infants to say hello and goodbye.
Yeah, I realize not every person who dies is celebrity, but they're special.
Yeah.
They mean something to somebody, and they just want to share their story. And we help them do that. That's kind of a really cool thing.
The most special things you can have in a funeral, the things that you'll always remember for families, are the things that actually don't cost any money.
Death has been something that people have tried to isolate, and we're saying it needs to be integrated, to integrate it into life so that the person, it's not reincarnation or something like that. It's just recognizing and honoring and facilitating the natural circle of life.
We can argue over more ads. Do you want to argue or yeah? Hey,
We can
everyone.
argue. Yeah.
We're not going to argue. We're going to have a show. I'm Brian Waters.
We are. Well, I'm Ryan Ballard, and we are going to have a show.
This
So
is-
welcome to both of us on the intro. How about that?
How about that? We found all the gear.
We did find all the gear. The gear has been dusty and hiding for a moment here.
Well, it's been traveled around a lot. It's been beat up, and it's been laying all across the place while I look for random audio files and missing cards. And as I chase my tail in life, here we are. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, friends. This is Ryan and Brian from Undertaking the Podcast. It's been a minute since we've actually been, I think, on here by ourselves, just us, mano a mano. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like I've been going with the pedal down for a long time, and I'm exhausted. So
You have. Some sleep would be good. But yeah, friends, this is an episode from back in the day. This is actually, I don't want to say back in the day. This is 2023 this year, but it was at our convention in May. Jeff Grimm, we had the opportunity to sit with him and have a conversation. Now, you'll hear some background noise because obviously we do this on the fly. There is a lot of just the realness of what's going on behind us. But we were in a muddle of people when we were doing this and people walking by. So it was loud, but it's a good episode. It's actually a fun episode too. So we got some laughs out of it.
yeah, absolutely. So Jeff Grimm from Kachina Supply. Now, ask me to spell it, I won't. So Kachina Supply it's up there out of Chicago, you know.
C-O China.
Kachina. So Jeff Grimm, you know the guy. He's a grim guy, right? I know Chicago's a little Italian. I can turn that on and off. But Jim's one. Jim.
Who is Jim? Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. I don't know Jim, but if I need something from anywhere, like I can get a hold of Jeff Grimm.
Jeff, yeah.
Yeah, that's a long ad
Wow.
there, Jeff. You're going to earn this one. But hey, we're going to go to Chicago to this one-day trade show. If you're in the Chicagoland area, this is kind of like we hear this is one of those
Experience.
Well, it's a one-day trade show, and they talk it up. So Jeff's, I think, doubled the size of his booth for us.
Exciting.
I hope you asked for the time off. Now, I'm getting ready to go on, not in a hard break. I'm going to take a hard break from funeral service podcasting and have a hard reset. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long that's going to take. And so hopefully I'm going to see you, Ryan, in Chicago with Jeff Grimm and his booth there at Kachina Supply. They've got space for us, so the network will be there in force, right?
That is the plan, friends.
Yep. So plans can change, but we are zeroed in on our friend Jeff, this one-day trade show. So there's some details somewhere. I'll try to find a link, but we want to get into this show with Jeff, and then we're going to talk about what a couple people have been supporting us over the years. What you want to go for Garfield Refining? We argued about that.
Garfield Refining, when it comes to recycled metals, we didn't argue about this. What are you talking
Well, I wanted
about?
to tease my friend, but we won't.
But you can if you want. It is what it is. But no, Garfield Refining, they've been a supporter, since Washington State years ago, the podcast. But they do all your recycled metals, cremation metals. For those of you that have a retort or do your own cremations, you do have some leftover metal. I would say it would be medical metal in a lot of ways. I don't know how to softly say that.
Well, if you're
metal
sitting on
from
the hot
surgeries, there's things that's left over at times. Garfield Refining can help you guys with that. taking care of that. And, I think every state is different as to how they handle recycled metals. But Garfield Refining can work with you and figure out how you, in your state, can better recycle metals from your crematory. So right on that, right?
Solid ad spot.
That was a
Ryan.
solid ad spot.
Yeah, I was really trying to work in a cremation joke and being on the hot seat. But you're right, though. If it's a different state and you're worried about it, just connect with our friend Cam over there. And I didn't say old Axelson, but
Cam.
I
You
know.
call it old Axe. We call him
Old
Axelson.
Yeah, it's better than Cameron or
Man.
Cam. Get a
Don't
hold
call
of
him Cam. That sounded really weird.
that just came out. Garfield Refining, check him out. Tell him Undertaking the Podcast saying it. But then I wanted to plug Pierce Chemical in 496.
For a long time.
For a long time, because I've been looking for the last episode of that tournament, and that thing has become legendary because no one knows who won between Pierce, Triton 28, or Care 25. And I was going to kind of pull a joke and be like, yeah, the winner's 496, but we sold out like the first sold the first round.
It went quick.
They made more. They made the other half bash, and I think they sold that out too.
Pierce has been a strong supporter of the podcast for a long time. They help you, obviously, when it comes to what you're doing in your care center. Lance has always been extremely good to us and always helpful. Anytime we've had questions with anything, they've always been there to, in a sense, be able to guide us and lead us to success. So Pierce Fluid, they've been good to us. So we appreciate them.
They listen. So 496. So the word on the avenue is they love it, and we needed something on the market.
Word on the avenue. My gosh!
I'm not living on the street these days, Ryan, but it'll be fine.
Anyway.
My wife just walked off, so let's close this intro and listen to Jeff Grimm.
Rock and roll, friends. Enjoy the show.
So, man, my phone is blowing up.
People say I have a hearing problem. I usually don't listen.
Well, we've
say?
gotten that too.
People say I have a hearing problem. I tend not to listen.
Oh, he really said it a second time.
Yeah,
That was
did.
up?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
you know we're recording.
For comedy.
I saw the button.
Oh, you saw the
saw
button.
the
He
red
didn't
light.
see the button.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Here we are. This is my first recording.
take off, Bowdy.
My first recording. Well, I don't even know the guest, to be honest with you. Brian kind of parachuted in and said, "Hey, you want to talk to somebody?" I said, "Well, I'm here. Why not? Let's do it." So
Sure.
Here we are. My friend Jeff Grimm. Jeff, we just met each other. Talk to me about what you do, what it is. You're here in Indiana for what, first off?
The Indiana Funeral Director Association meeting. I got my states crossed there for a second.
The 142nd, 3rd?
Second or third, we haven't figured it out.
We haven't figured it out. 2 or 3,
It'll
But yeah.
be fine.
It's a long time.
Yeah. So I just literally ran out. Are you getting a fuzz in yours? Yeah, hold it here. There you go.
There we go.
I had to take that microphone from somebody because there's just something in the fuzz.
Yeah, we're looking to get some new equipment.
We're on
at
the
some
road
point.
here.
Yeah.
You need to raise some money. Let's have a show, though. I just ran out on the porch in front of a big bunch of people and yelled, "Hey, Ryan, I got a scoop. You in?" And he's like, "What is it?" And I'm like, "I'm going to learn everything I can about stationery." And I just ran out of the room. And here he is. He followed me. But as we were setting up, I'm like, this is a guy you got to know. So I'm so glad. Welcome to the show, Jeff. So
Thanks for having
just
me.
kind of walk us in. Give us a little, airplane view of your... What do you got going on?
5,000 foot view. Is that what it is?
Whatever.
40,000, a little higher.
Let's get higher. 40,000.
Sure. Jeff Grimm, Kachina Supply. We sell just about anything.
I love that.
Funeral directors would use. I mean, from stationery to urns to pens to bulk toilet paper and everything in between. We try to be a one-stop shop. We don't technically warehouse, make, or import anything, so we're more like a broker, like an insurance broker. We can go out to all the different manufacturers and vendors, and we can try and find you the best deal on whatever you're looking for, because usually there's multiple choices. We're not locked into just one supplier.
So you are literally the search results of Google for someone who doesn't want to even bother.
Correct.
So like I call you up and go, I need a thing, and you're like, hang on a second, it's in my memory bank first.
Or we get a lot of texts from funeral directors. I need this, or what do you got that's close, or the.
What's a unique request?
Oh man, we had a funeral director said. They started off the conversation with, "I'm dead for real serious. Do you have a clear urn?" And I said, "A clear urn, like see-through, like a see-through box, like an aquarium with a lid?" They said, "Yes."
Like an aquarium.
And I had to ask. I said, for what? And they're like, we have a family. The individual that died was very claustrophobic, and they don't want to be in an enclosed container they can't see out of for eternity. So we found them an acrylic box that they could, seal shut and you could see out of on all the sides.
That's actually not silly. I mean, in some faiths, they don't lock in a sealed room for spiritual reasons. Who cares? The reason you found the product, right?
Yep. No, and that's what we like to do, It's fun to source this stuff and make the impossible possible.
Okay, here's a good question for you. What one product, then, do you have to have at any funeral?
A product? Well, I would, if a funeral director was a product, I would say that.
I like the fact that you caught on to that. This is a kind of a trick question. Yeah, I could not name a product offered here that you have to have for a funeral. Could you? In that trade show floor, if someone was going to look at funeral homes and funeral directors and they're like, hey, this is all the stuff that they make money on, but what do we have to have?
Well, it's you guys. You're the product. You can't have the funeral without the funeral director.
Service.
Okay, so
yes.
All right. So now he gets it. We can move on. This is why I like this guy. He's not telling me if
What was that? What was that moment?
I just wanted to make sure he
You
was
were
on
doing
the
a Joe
same
Bernardo,
page.
like you're throwing it out there and then trying to reel it in.
I wanted to make sure
know?
Jeff was on the same page because, we tend to do battle if someone says you have to have this at a funeral.
Oh, all the things.
All the things.
All the items.
And Ryan and I are currently on, get the things out of it and let's start planning a funeral.
No,
and then
all the things, they're the support cast of what you guys do.
Bingo.
I mean, that's just how it is. And I've been doing this now 10 years, and I figured that out pretty quick,
It's just 10?
Just 10.
So when did you find my brother? Because my brother feels like it's like my brother's known this guy forever, Ryan.
Really? You know Todd Waters?
I do.
Oh, my.
Probably right when I first started, even back then, he said I was one of the few reps that was pounding the pavement and crossing the threshold and
He always
stop
talks
on
about
by.
pounding the pavement, doesn't he?
Who,
Todd.
my brother?
Always.
Well,
That explains it
You
then.
mentioned pounding the pavement, though. Do you find that beneficial walking through and having a face to a name?
Yes and no. It's interesting. Funeral directors, to lump you all together, are very interesting in the fact that you don't want salesmen to visit, but you want to know that we're willing to.
That's correct. 100% correct. Just knock on my door and walk away.
Yeah. So no, and that's
100%. That is. Ooh, God.
I mean, that's,
Jeff, I tell you, you're hitting nerves. I like it. I like it.
That's what I do. Whether it's a new catalog or a couple of sell sheets or something, just say, hey, I know you're busy. Wanted to drop off something new. You need anything? Let me know. And in and out in 2 minutes.
But then he met Todd.
And then I met your brother. Correct.
How did that go? I've never asked about the first encounter.
It was cool. I mean, he showed me, the grand tour of the funeral home there, and met your folks, and he showed me how he did the books and calligraphy and all the other fancy things you guys do.
See, that's infamous. The calligraphy.
Is that something that's done very often anywhere? Do you know?
I don't think so. I mean, the vast majority of register books sold are still the ones with the lines that you have to fill in.
Right.
But
That's what we buy.
Yeah. I think the calligraphy though is a dying art that your brother seems to enjoy very much.
I've learned it from him. Just
that's cool.
From watching and then practicing, and it's one of those things that you don't think you're very good at, but you put your work out, and someone goes, "Oh my gosh, when did your brother get here?" And I'm going, "I did this," and it's awful, but they don't know.
It's cool
unless you tell them. So.
And it's memorable. I'm
Can
sure.
I ask you this though? What brought that on? Because you do that on the decedents you bring us for cremation and whatnot. Like what besides, because there's a label that goes on that. I mean, in all honesty, there's a label that goes on it. Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's the equipment, but there's a label that goes on it that we can put on there and. You can put a name, but you're doing. I mean, there's some time.
It's really not that much time.
It's not?
No. You could watch me do calligraphy tonight if you wanted to. You have me write special things, but I looked at it as an art that I could learn and refine, and I think there's lots of different ways you can look at calligraphy. So I had an alphabet that my brother had written, and I just had that next to my books, and I would fill them out that way, and it has improved quite a bit. But left-handed folks are like far better. It just is. I don't know.
Well, it's because they don't smudge the lines. They don't smudge the lines.
But to your question, it only takes a minute to. But we do that on any sort of containers or.
Oh wow!
We just do it on.
It's like your guys' trademark.
It's our thing. So yeah,
your signature move.
People from the community will bring in Yeah, stuff for us to do calligraphy on. So,
Oh, that's neat.
anyway, Ryan is taking a phone call because he's at work. So, but I want to say the lead-in so when he can hear. But so let's go back on the things you see from undertakers. So you have some like us that are like, come on in, let me show pictures of grandkids. Are
Sure.
those getting fewer and farther between?
You know what? It's a timing thing. It just depends on the day. I mean, you know, the death waits for no one. So you know, sometimes you guys got nothing to do and your feet are up on the desk and you're reading the paper. Other times, you know, you get 10 calls in 2 days and you haven't slept for a week. You know, it just depends.
So I kind of want to put the shoe on the other foot with him, because what I wanted him to tell us was everything that you and I don't know about stationery. Because we were talking, it's like somebody's paying per copy to print. Now, I am for my ink, but I didn't know about software fees and other things like this. There's a whole world of stationery.
There is with anything now, isn't there? I mean, there's a fee. There's a fee for us to put this out. There's a fee for us to have a hosting. There's a fee for, you know what I mean? There's a fee for.
We are undertakers with our
everything.
old equipment. It's fine.
That's where all the money's at these days. Everything is a service or a subscription. I mean, if the companies had their way, you'd never own a car, you'd never own a cell phone. I mean, if the grocery store could figure out how to charge you weekly for groceries, and you know, that's just the way the world's moving.
It's micro-transaction apocalypse that we are living in. And thank you for not doing that to me. But we have situations now, we don't buy from Jeff all the time, but we kind of stock some orders. But it's my brother is like, this is the go-to for an emergency.
You say, well, yeah, all the hard stuff for me, which is cool, though. I like the challenge.
I wanted to how many people use you as the emergency guy?
That's usually how I get started, and then sooner or later they figure like, wow, this guy always comes through. Maybe I should see, like, you know, if I can get the everyday stuff or whatever. And I tell people, like, the worst case scenario is, you know, I'll do a little price shopping. Worst case is I tell you you're getting a great deal where you're at. Best case is I give you 2 or 3 other options. Like it's you know, it's just that's the service I do.
Options.
So I was talking to him about register books, and I'm like, you know, I'm in Ball State territory. I should have a Cardinal on some things, you know, I really should. And he's like, oh, Cardinal. And it was like, it wasn't company per se. It was like, look at all these Cardinals. And that's what he can do. Look what it's almost like we do with the podcast. You want to know about funeral service? Well, here's all of it in a way.
Yeah.
So what are you learning about what, I know in a way we're kind of talking inside baseball, what companies do, but as an undertaker, I don't know if I sign on to something, what could happen and what fees I'm going to get.
Yeah, there's a lot of that out there. Stationery. The other big one is the fingerprint jewelry. If you look at a lot of the terms and conditions, it says the software company owns the fingerprint. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. How does a company own the deceased's fingerprint?
There's probably data storage that comes with that. There's
Sure.
all kinds of things that come with that, I would assume. I mean, if it's somewhere on a cloud, right, you're paying for that.
I suppose you're correct.
If it's stored somewhere,
Well,
you're paying for it.
I mean, there is a trade-off, but to say that they actually own it is kind of different. That this
Wow.
agreement would, this agreement that we're entering on our family's behalf because they ask us to, if they ask us to.
Yeah.
Because some funeral homes would fingerprint all the time. I'm more of an ask-type facility.
Sure.
Because you see what we're onto here. Yeah, I never thought of that.
And then the catch is if the family requests the print from you because they want it on something that your provider doesn't offer, they can say no.
You want to know how many rules right now I'm breaking, Ryan? It's so many, and I'm not going to tell anybody. I am like intermingling like companies and equipment. It's so fun, but I care about getting the family what they want.
Sure.
Like I don't, and I am loyal to brands per se, but more so to people, and I'd rather just buy off them. So, what do you want to know about the world of stationery? I couldn't believe that.
Here's what I want to know, because this is one of those things where I feel like there's a lot of people that I meet with that don't necessarily find the value in some of the stationery, the register book. They open it once, and that's usually to put it back in the box when they're done with visitation, and it's never opened again. How do you have something, from a software-based aspect, like a QR code or something like that, where if people wanted to go back and look at it real quick, they could, just the flick of a button.
That's
and look
kinda
back.
cool.
You know what I mean? Or something like that. Like, why is there still a book? And I've had people ask me, why am I buying something? I won't look at it again.
Easy answer. Stationery companies don't make money from printing QR codes. I mean, that's the reality. They need the product to sell them. That product's stationary.
I get that. So, what is the world of like digital register books doing to you?
It affects us, but we have multiple like cloud type solutions like that too. Ultimately, though, I think a lot of people the book is probably going to be around for a while, but like the thank you cards are going away a little more. Service records will probably be around for a while since that's like
The red books?
yeah.
But but let me ask you this though: there's got to be, and I understand stationery companies have to sell stationery to stay in business, but there's got to be a way to evolve that portion of it to where the families can find more value in a register book than just using it that one time.
So the again,
Like, how can you incorporate it into thank you cards? How do you
We're
incorporate it
onto
into? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we're onto something that's floating over this entire event. Is that the thing itself is basically worthless, depending on what you. If it's just sitting here, it's just a book with pages in it.
Well, but it is the only thing that the family takes home from the funeral.
So there we go. We're starting to build a story. Now what happens with the thing, you start to interact with it. If you don't buy it, you're not interacting with it. So it just doesn't exist. But what happens? Your community, the first thing they walk in the door, look at your community. The community looks for a pen, first off, and then something to write on. Otherwise, they're going to be looking at your walls and looking at me, and that's fine. I'm happy to direct people without stationery, but there's something that people are set up to walk in, sign, folder, approach.
Well, it's the tactile feedback. It's the experience. It's the whole, thing.
It's also muscle memory from
Yeah.
years of doing it that way.
And after, I'm going to tell this story, and let's kind of go back around about this, because Jeff, I'm sure you've heard a bunch, but Dad, for Grandpa died in 87. Dad didn't break his book out until like 2007. One time in 20 years, he broke the book out, and I watched my dad go through that. And he had a moment, like we all would, understand. But he was so happy that he had it. And we're all, as undertakers, we're all going, we know where the book goes. It goes in the closet.
Sure.
You're going to put it somewhere safe, because you're not going to play with it every day.
But out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind. But one day, you will be glad you had it. Otherwise, you'll just throw it away, and the problem's still solved, and you don't worry about the money anyway, because it's been long spent. But in the grand scheme of purchases, don't buy it if you don't want it. And that's kind of how I sell the register book.
Sure.
How about that? Is that weird? But anyway, that was a question.
I think there's a way of going about it differently to where you could sell even more of them, but it'd be more friendly to the consumer. I don't know what that looks like.
If there's a connection to the product. So some of the stories you've heard, Jeff, the register books being themed, being good. I mean, I'm sure you've had some feedback of getting something just in time and the family being really thankful. I'm sure you've heard that in 10 years.
Oh yeah, lots of times. Or the most recent one was a funeral home in Wisconsin. They said, we're in dairy country. We'd really like stationery with dairy cows and a barn on it. What do you have? I'm like, well, nothing, but we could make something. And, well, what do you mean you could make something? I'm like, all the books are basically the same. It's just you're printing the artwork on the cover. Yeah, so we licensed some artwork from some artist, and the funeral home was happy, and his families are happy, and it's just one of those things that it would sell more, and I think families would find more value in it if it was something that meant something to them. Just the maroon book with the in remembrance in gold. It's nice, but nobody cares. There's no personal connection.
Don't you see that though, Ryan?
I get it.
Like when someone walks in and sees something that they want, they go for it, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Because it calls to them,
well,
right?
and here's the thing. Dad was a woodworker.
There we go.
Dad wants the oak stationery.
There we go.
And I get it.
Story.
I get it. But at the same time, too, there's also those folks that come in and say what I've said here recently. I won't look at it again.
Don't buy it.
Well, how right? But is there something they can buy that maybe they would find value?
Well, I look at them and go, how about just the folders? And they go, oh, I can do that?
Sure.
And that's my answer.
But you see what I'm saying. I mean,
well, most things are sold in packages, especially our services. And we've trained people to go, well, I can do that. It's out of the package. Like, so I have families that walk up and I walk to the door, knock, knock. Do you have any extra thank you cards? And I'm going, I don't even know who these people are. Yeah, come on in. Do I really retail them? Yeah, general price. Here's a big piece of paper, but we're gonna buy this box over here. And yeah, you can have some cards. 20 years ago, I'd be like, well, you probably ought to go back to your funeral home that you went to. No, they came to my door. Just give them the cards and call it a day.
You're not going to find a cheaper form of advertising or marketing to get a potential new customer than just giving them a couple
They
of
always
cards.
remember when you say no.
Okay, so question.
I can't help you. Because that's what they hear when
That's what they hear.
I mean, I hate to see it. But.
So you're right. I would say if there's resistance there, don't buy it. That's freedom. Don't buy it. Like, you don't have to. We sell it because people keep asking for it. Because if we didn't, because I've made arrangements where
But
I
here,
didn't do
can
the
I
book.
ask you this though? Let me ask you this: when it comes to that, the stationery and whatnot, what advances and what innovations are you guys doing to move forward? Because maybe it's not always that. You know, you have people that are doing stuff on iPads now and actually signing in on that. And do you see what I'm saying? Like,
I do, but
will it always be pen and paper? Because I can tell you this. I mean, I take notes on voice memos on my phone all the time. That's what I'm saying. Like,
the challenging part is it comes down to the funeral director, because you guys are already the funeral director, so you're the event planner, you're the counselor, you're the janitor, you're every other thing. So now, with a lot of the software and the computer stuff, you got to be the graphic artist and the designer, and you just don't have the time. And most funeral homes are your stereotypical small business. It's a family operation, husband, wife, brother, sister, something like that.
Sons,
sure.
the most obvious one right in front of him. Sons.
Just looked like passed through you, didn't it?
They just
brother, husband, cousin,
they
uncle.
They don't have the time. And it's, you want to give value to your family. Yeah, you want to give them something special, but ultimately it comes down to time, and there's other things that are more important with putting on the funeral and the service than printing the stationery. So that's the divide right now, and we see that on the vendor side with the sales. A lot of the more corporate-y type places, they have full-time people. That's all they do is the custom stationery, and the funeral director gets the direct funerals.
Yeah.
But the small guys, and that's the vast majority of funeral homes. I mean, if there's almost 20,000 in the country, I'm willing to bet only 3,000 or 4,000 are corporate owned. So the vast majority are small independents, and they don't have the time. And as a supplier, I look at these things, and ultimately, it doesn't matter what the trends are. It doesn't matter what I want to sell. It doesn't even matter what you guys want to sell. It's what the families want to buy and what they're asking for. And the stationery and the digital stuff is I sort of kind of think it's the companies putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, I just think in general, if you don't choose it, eventually it will go away.
Sure.
I mean, we don't sell candles all the time and rent draperies anymore. You quit picking it. No more buggy whips. But are we going to put them on the spot? Did you want to buy? We need stickers. Everyone keeps asking us for stickers. So we got this logo here, this Undertaking the Podcast. No, not the QR code, but we could do something with the QR code.
We need to do something with the QR.
You could do the QR code with the Undertaking the Podcast in the middle.
Yeah.
And then we need something at the bottom that says "We see you" or something like that. I think that would be cool.
If you design it, we can print it.
Okay, so, what if I send you pieces? Because I'm that type of funeral director. And can you put it together?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to send you the QR code, and then I'll be like, I want to say this underneath it.
Does it work if we make sure it works?
Well, why don't you do it?
I
You're
assume
standing
it
right
works.
here. My phone's attached to the podcast.
If it doesn't work, we can fix that too. That's real easy.
I know. It was working.
I'm
earlier.
a QR code guy now.
Are you really?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. We're testing the new sign.
Oh, straight to it. Straight to it. Apple Podcast goes straight to it.
Well, you had to pick somewhere, and at least 85% of the downloads are from Apple, so we just had to roll with it.
That's cool.
We need. Okay, so we just bought some stickers. So anyway, in the sticker market, we're thinking like $1 a sticker. How much do they cost? I have no idea.
That was a great way to throw that out there. $1 a sticker.
If I sold them to you for $1 a sticker, I don't think I'd be able to sleep at night.
Okay.
I mean,
so well played. I am so proud of you.
Is that expensive?
Yeah. I mean.
I thought that was cheap.
No, that's expensive.
I thought it was.
I thought that was cheap.
See, I thought I undercut him.
I did too. That's why I was laughing.
I mean, God, you could get 7-year vinyl with super adhesive that'll never come off for probably less than that.
And this is why
coming,
Jeff Grimm is a guy you need to know.
Unbelievable.
So you wouldn't be able to sleep a night at $1 a sticker.
No, I mean, I'd have fun with the money. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I mean, that'd be just beyond gouging.
We're gonna have some stickers.
I would not have thought, with the way life is in America right now, I thought $1. I thought you were undercutting.
I was hoping for around $1. I was thinking $1.30.
I thought you were saying it as a joke.
It's like anything else too. volume comes into play, you could probably get just one for the same price you could get 1,000 or something like that, but yeah, as long as you're not talking a handful, yeah, the pricing's pretty reasonable.
See, Jeff's being a funeral director to funeral directors. He's just turning our attention just where it needs to be. So that's why you need to know him. And that I'm going to write.
I want you guys to open the door the next time I knock on it.
I thought you were.
This guy, man, he won't open the door. You don't want him to open the door.
I'm not opening the door.
He's get off my lawn.
I appreciate you guys.
Director.
I'll see you at convention.
No,
That's fair.
You come to my place.
It is what it is. I don't, and plus I'm not the guy that makes those decisions anymore.
I will chase you to the car because I won't be finished with the story, and all the other suppliers will laugh right now.
You'll have coffee. You'll be there for 3 hours. He does it all the time.
That's okay though.
He's been through Todd Waters boot camp, so he's good.
Yes, several times now.
Okay, so you've got the floor. What do we want? What do you want to talk about? What do you want us to know?
I mean, ultimately, you guys are in the driver's seat, right? I mean, you got a whole expo floor full of vendors that are trying to sell you stuff, but ultimately, people don't like to be sold; they like to buy. So it's it's what you like, it's what your family's like, and I guess don't be afraid to ask. Whether it's myself, a competitor, anybody on the floor. Say this is what we're thinking, this is what we want. Even if it's something silly like that clear urn. Like, it just never, like you said earlier, like, I don't like saying no either because people remember that,
They always remember that.
And ultimately, too, even if I can't get you exactly what you're looking for, I like to give you 3 or 4 choices, so it's not me forcing something on you. It's you making the decision and saying, this is what I can do.
Yeah. Ladies, how are you? Great convention.
I would just would you go get a damn coffee cup? Dobby McStinkfoot.
Dobby,
no, it's Dobby Rottenfoot.
Oh, boy, that footage, too, is great. I'm really excited. Shiva Shade's going to love that.
Oh, Shiva Shade, I got to get that posted. Shiva Shade's giving a deal now to, because I've been doing some videos with them. His feet stunk, poor guy. And he got his shoes wet. It's not his fault. His shoes got wet.
How does that? You just get water on them and they smell like that?
It was weeks ago.
He hasn't dried his feet since?
Well, he's been drying. He's been
obviously
wearing the shoes.
It's moldy in the shoe.
No, it's not mold. That's alive. That shoe was moving. If you stared
when he puts his foot in it, it grabs a hold of his foot.
You just need people to know you exist.
Yeah.
Jeff Grimm, Kachina Supply.
Yeah, you got nothing to lose.
Yeah, no. So I'm waiting on old Dobby there to come back. We've got to get.
Where are you out of?
Naperville, Illinois.
Naperville.
Naperville, Illinois.
Oh.
Okay.
The name of your company's on there. Okay.
Yeah, more accurately is probably my car. I think since April I've done almost 10,000 miles now.
Are you serious? Wow.
What kind of car is it?
Cadillac, Chicago standard issue, for us Y guys.
It would be. Supply guys always have the nice cars.
Everyone in Chicago here.
Nathan McCullough drives
if
around.
I have to be in a vehicle that much, I want to be comfortable.
Do you know McCullough just got a Corvette? Did you hear about that?
Nathan McCullough has a Corvette.
Driving it around, the Matthews company car.
Okay, Tadaro. I was just.
Anyway, moving on. But yeah, he's got one. Anyway.
I was going to say.
Anyway, sorry.
No worries.
Love those rumors.
No, I don't know. It was like a midlife thing. I just wanted to point out that I haven't seen your Corvette yet, or mine. Oh, hey, would you hand this gentleman? We love him.
How about Nathan McCullough?
Oh, that's awesome.
Turn the cup around.
Turn the cup over. When you read that, what do you think of?
That's cool.
No. When you read that, is there?
What comes
What do
to
you
mind?
interpret?
Well, I mean that you guys work with everybody, talk with everybody, just like everybody in general.
We printed.
We love every body.
Yes.
Oh, everybody. I didn't get the space.
But
Clever.
the way you took that is exactly why we did it this way.
Well,
that's cool.
It was kind of thought out.
We love everybody. We love everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah. We have. Well, here's the thing: is we have space for everybody. That's the joke.
I love that you did that because that proves my point even more as to the play on that. I love it.
He thought it was about fingerprinting, but no. So you can have that. That's a gift from us.
Cool.
Now, that is printed, however, by Hilton Funeral Supply. A photo. They are a photo.
That's okay.
Oh my God. Well, what a turn that took.
You act like I'm taunting the cartel. It's Jeff Grimm, Kachina Supply.
That's okay. They like the bags I give away. They say WTF on them real big, and underneath real small it says "Where's the funeral?" So
that's cool.
It's an even trade. I'll take the mug for them taking a bag or two.
No, but we just wanted to let you know. People need to know Jeff.
We got stickers.
You know Jeff. Well, there'll be some show notes in there. Jeff Jeff will maybe do something with the episode, but that's
Sure.
so cool. So if you need something, and this is what we do. We know people. We just practiced on the show. This was not scripted. So we're getting stickers, folks. So,
We networked in, and we just network it. This is how you have to do it.
And literally anything, even like your little banner thing here.
No kidding.
Yeah, anything.
I can call you and get how quick.
How fast you want it.
He says all the right things, doesn't he?
But that's
doesn't
how
he say it?
But
I
that's
love
how it is, right? You get 3 choices: how fast, how much, and how good. And you get to pick 2 of the 3.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of like a funeral. It's like, what do you want? And those 3.
Now, you guys as funeral directors, I think for the time frame, it's usually immediately, if not sooner. But there's unfortunately a cost for
And
that.
it's usually because we've waited till the last minute.
Yeah, no, we've come up with this convention that undertakers are the hall monitors of responsibility. That's all we do is call people up and be like, hey, I just need you to do what I asked you to do 3 days ago.
Just make sure we got that grave opened, huh?
Yeah, that hole in the ground, I still got something for it.
Hey,
so.
cemetery, just making sure.
I don't know. We don't mean to be picking on cemeteries.
That's a weird way of putting
if you're
it.
running one of them high, not one of them high dollar operations, but where you have staff, we don't mean you. Anyway, random podcast.
No worries, it was fun.
Cool. Well, you want to end the show?
Friends, rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend.
I've been hanging up on him.
Undertakingthepodcast.com is.
A funeral will hold up in front of society the most noble, the most thoughtful, sensitive, caring, compassionate aspects of life. And you turn the mirror a little bit, and a funeral will also show you glaringly the selfish, cynical, unkind, insensitive, thoughtless side of life.
This is what my father will look like when he's dead, to myself. It was just like that. And then suddenly the tense all changed, and I said to myself, this is my father dead. That's how it happens.
The most special things you can have in a funeral, and the things that you'll always remember for families, are the things that actually don't cost any money.